Hola!
Bom dia!
And welcome to the Sunny Saudade project, where we're having our coffee in the morning.
Yeah. Today we're going to talk quickly about our first few days and the culture shock that mostly I have experienced since we've moved here.
Here are our 5 culture shocking points of moving into Portugal. Charlotte would like to present the first one, which is...
a cockerel waking me up every morning. It's the national figure or animal, isn't it, of Portugal, and it's hilarious. There is an old lady who has one on her balcony. We're in the middle of a town at the moment, and she is about what, 50 metres away?
50 metres.
And she has this little pen for her cockerel on the balcony, and he's very noisy, and you'll probably hear him at some point whilst we film this. He yeah, he's just very loud, and I will never have a line again.
It's quite fun. There it goes, see? There it goes.
Yeah, we'll never have a line again. It's very strange from, having to set alarms with a phone. I usually wake up before my phone alarm goes off because of Mr. Cockerel.
But now Charlotte has an organic, natural alarm clock. Still on the point of animals and cockerels, Charlotte is really interested in trying to find the pig from the other video.
I've not met the pig yet. I really want to meet the pig. But yeah, there's something about random, obviously people in Britain have pets, but over here it's pigs and cockerels, and there are dogs that are they have an owner, but they just sort of let them out and they go about the street and then go back home. They don't necessarily go for a walk with them. I don't know. It's cute. I like it.
Very down to earth mentality. We were used to being in Hertfordshire, where people used to have tiny dogs and they all used to go out for nice walks. And here, it just seems like the animal diversity is pretty good.
Yeah.
What a shock!
Another thing that I've found very different since moving here is going and getting my weekly shop from a market, which doesn't sound that mad for Britain, but we've gone to Continent once, and that was just for some getting a cafetiere to save us some money. Other than that, everything comes off the back of a van and some old ladies haggling with you, which is something that I find you don't really get back in the UK anymore. That sort of culture's sort of gone away now.
There's specific towns in the UK where they have specific days to go shopping, but the quality of the products that you get in these markets would be similar to the ones you get in the shops. But the ones in Portugal, at least from my understanding, they all come locally sourced from that person's back garden, and you can haggle with them, you can ask them to taste a little bit. My mum and I usually go with Charlotte to this market, and there is this lady who always gives her a ton of tangerines. My mum's trying 2 of them to see if they're good, and then she'll give her 20% off just because I know her, so Charlotte's hoping to get to the same point with the cheese lady. There's a cockerel again! She's hoping to get to that point to some of the people in the market.
I've noticed within 1 week I've been able to ask oh, can I taste this, things like that, and ask for half measures, and yeah, it's a good place to practice Portuguese because they're usually very old farmers that are selling the things here. You don't get a lot of young people, so most of them don't speak English, so it's a good place to practice Portuguese, and the food is really good.
The food's really good. We always have to get some cheese, some nice chorizo, some fresh bread. Charlotte bought some of these nice plum tomatoes where at some point we're going to do this tomato soup. She bought these giant bags of spinach.
Yeah, the spinach is huge. It's I think it was in our last video, but it's massive.
Massive.
Huge.
And point number 3, we're gonna have to go in a little bit of a down low here, is getting anything done takes ages. If you're in London or in the UK, you can do mostly all of these things online. You can just catch a train to all of these other places and you can get most of your bits done in one day. But in Portugal, it is extremely slow because the country is still being affected by the pandemic. So for example, in one day, Charlotte managed to get her tax code, and that was it, because you had to go in, you've got to book an appointment, and then luckily she managed to get the appointment on the same day. We were also looking at getting Charlotte a phone number and open a bank account and doing all these things that would have been super easy in the UK. She managed to get her phone number done, okay, and get the contract done, but it took ages. We were like half an hour in the shop.
We had to go and change the contract I'd signed up for because I wouldn't be able to get a bank account with the one I'd signed up for, even though we said we need one that and that wasn't an English culture thing, because Carlos obviously speaks Portuguese. That's just, I don't know why, everything just seems to be a little bit more difficult to do. People
a bit too chill, I think, for their own good.
Yeah, no one's in a rush here.
No one's in a rush. And even to open Charlotte's bank account, he needed to have like some sort of proof of address, her passport, and then all these other documents. And even we had to go into the bank, we had to book an appointment for the next day. Charlotte had to work, unfortunately, so she couldn't open the account. So I'm gonna have to go to the bank and tell them, hey, can we book a session on Monday for Charlotte to open her account? So it's just, things are really slow here, which is one of the, I think for Charlotte it's a bit of a shock, isn't it?
I will say though, going back to when we had the appointment to get my national tax number, that was still easier than trying to do it via the Portuguese embassy. I think the Portuguese embassy are trying to make themselves seem as Portuguese as possible and are even slower in the UK than they are here. Getting our marriage registered over here, we had to do it via the UK embassy.
Yes.
It's just little things that I'm just like, this could be 1,000 times easier.
It could just be so much easier.
So the next one is my work experience and stuff in London. Even though I've got loads of good work experience, because everything is still like technology wise a little bit stuck in the past, it's actually making my job harder. And my experience is kind of like I'm having to rewire my brain. Plus I also don't speak a lot of Portuguese, so everything is just that little bit more difficult.
Poor Charlotte.
I'm finding it quite hard. But for example, coffees, that's what I used to do. I used to manage a coffee shop, like a really good one, a really, really busy place in London. And I come here and I'm going, oh yeah, an espresso. Doing like, what are you doing? Or, oh, a flat white, that's like a Madeline, okay. And I do it and they're like, no. And technology wise, we used to use things such as iPads and whatnot just to get things done. That doesn't exist over here, and that's, I think, affecting my work a bit.
When people make coffees in Portugal, they will normally steam the milk first and then put the coffee shot on top, which is exactly the same as doing a flat white, but we actually put the coffee first and then put the milk on top.
Yeah, it's just little things like that.
We used to have iPads where you could put people's order through, it would come out into the kitchen, they would get the ticket out, it'd be super easy.
We'd use iPads and it just, everything you need to know is all on a system. You don't have to worry about saving things. I like it the way that Portugal, some ways, like a bit more in the past, because it means quality of food and different things like that are much better. Pace of life is a bit nicer, but when it comes to like getting things done at a job, I just think it just feels so much harder, like, and unnecessarily so. Like, you can get that stuff here, why not use it?
And number 5, to end it out with a bang, you can have cheap nights out for less than a tenner.
We went out last week for €11.50 between the two of us.
It was really good. So we had a goat's cheese salad, we had 2 beers, and then we had a glass of wine each. We paid €11 for that. I went to pay the bill and I told the guy, oh man, things are really cheap here, let me give you some tips. Because I tipped him, he then gave us 2 free beers after that.
So we were
it's
quite
amazing.
Drunk. Yeah, all we had is a goat's cheese salad to share. But yeah, we had a good time, and you know, we're on the seafront at the same time. It's really nice. Let's add a 0.6. Being by the sea all the time, walking down the beach to work. It's so nice. I love it. And the temperature, even though we've had quite a bit of rain, is still like, I'm wearing a cardigan in early March to go to work.
It's really weird. We're so used to wearing like jumpers and jackets and thick socks and all that, but then yesterday I went to have a coffee, you know, by the seafront, just as you do, because the sea's right there. Portugal incentivizes you to leave your home and go for a walk, and I was like, oh my god, I'm actually roasting. And the weather isn't that great here right now, because it's changing between winter and spring, so you'll get a few days of rain and cold weather, but it's still lovely. You can still go out and enjoy yourself.
Yesterday, I must admit, a colleague was complaining about how cold it was, and I was there in my t-shirt like, are you mad? I felt so warm. Yeah, it was quite funny.
So guys, I know it's a short video, but it's a sweet one. So leave a like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, all that jazz. Let us know in the comments if you have moved to a country recently, what have been your shocking discoveries?
Let us know any culture shock you've ever experienced, and yeah, please follow and like and just help us out as much as you can so I don't have to work for coffees anymore.
We appreciate it, right? See you guys later.
Tchauzinho.